Looks like we've got some good numbers in, so we're going to get started. Before we do, I just want to point everyone to the chat. We're going to have the chat available for everyone to add some comments, add some questions, and we'll try and get to them either throughout the conversation or at the end. So let me introduce myself. My name is Jack Power, and I'm a senior product manager here at HR DataHub. Today, along with Dara Murta, our product design lead, I'm delighted to be introducing the latest changes to HR DataHub, including the improvements we've made to our visualizations, our headline insights, our search filtering and responsive layouts, and more. A lot of thinking has gone into making the user interface of our platform smarter, more efficient, and more modern. And I hope that's reflected in what you see here today. At HR DataHub, we exist to help companies build the best deal for their people. We do this for anyone involved in rewarding people, and we do this by making access to real-time data and unique insights as easy as can be. This drives all of our product thinking and is reflected in the changes that we've introduced to the HR DataHub platform, as we aim to deliver the most excellent reward, benchmarking, and monitoring tool possible. So why are we doing these changes in particular? We've heard through your feedback that our insight visualizations appeared a bit dated and could be a lot clearer. So that's what we're doing by taking a ground-up look at how we could better visualize everything. Along with this, we understood that conducting a search could also be improved, as the additional filters not only were not clear, but some users didn't even know their existence. So it's also known that it can be a bit of a detective game, trying to figure out the best search terms and filters to achieve the most accurate results. We have a large roadmap of platform improvements and game-changing features that we want to build, which we hope will answer a lot of this feedback. And I'm going to go into that towards the end. But first, I'm going to hand over to Dara, who's recorded a demonstration of the changes, and he's going to kick off on that now.
Context as to everything that we've been working on and how we got to this point. We went back to the drawing board for this update. So what that means is that we set out to define a new HR DataHub vision and to lay the groundwork for the future for everything that is to come. This was all done so that we can rapidly release new features and functions that all fit into a new and soon to be familiar experience to ensure you're getting the right data for the right roles in the right locations as quickly as possible. We put our current and future customers at the center of this vision, capturing hundreds of hours of feedback. Some of you on this call have actually chatted to me directly, or to Jack, or to Vitalia, the other product designer here at HR DataHub, or Jack, our head of product, or many other members of the HR DataHub team. We made sure to chat to Reward, to HR professionals, leaders in the talent acquisition space, and others in senior leadership to get the most rounded picture of the problems and challenges that you've all been facing. We've gotten thousands of pieces of feedback through emails and our chat service, calls, LinkedIn DMs, workshops, and we put as much of it together as we could so that we can understand what is really happening with our product, what people are really saying that they want to do, and how we could address it. We've made it our mission to put an excellent experience at the center of what we do, removing burdens or even potential dread in some situations about coming onto the platform, and I'm very excited to show off what we've been working on and to take you through it. So I'm going to go into this and I'm going to I'll be donning on the hat of a HR business partner who's had a request for a pay increase and just needs to get some market insights to help make a decision. So for this, the job that we're going to be looking up is a warehouse operative. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type that in here to kick things off. We'll confirm that. It's going to be in Manchester, this role. We'll select that. We'll put it to 10 miles and we'll leave it to 26 weeks. We also have the option to go around that, but 26 weeks is for 6 months. So I'm going to hit search and immediately we can see some of the stark differences that have happened from basically have been introduced last week and prior to that, the completely overhaul and radical change. With this change, we've wanted to make sure that it basically presents a cleaner and more robust experience so that you are able to quickly understand exactly what you're looking up. So for this, I'm going to scroll down a little bit so we can pull it into center stage. Move my head slightly out of the way. So with the median pay, we can see that this is the big number that we wanted to prioritize. These two pieces here so that you could see immediately what it is that this job is paying or this role, as well as the job post so you can see the data that comes with it. As part of this, we've introduced trending information so that you can see clearly how the pay itself is moving up or if it's moving down. Alongside that, we've introduced a cleaner way to see the upper quartile and the lower quartile. So we can see the 24,000 is sitting between these two. And to the right-hand side, we can see our 308 job posts that have come with this. With this, we can also see how the jobs are trending down, but I'll go into that a little more detail as we go through this. The next piece that we have is the actual pay trend pieces themselves, as in the graphics. With this, you can see that we've dramatically overhauled this. We've tried to make it as clean and as clear as possible to what's actually happening in here. We've made a lot of under the hood improvements, as well as a lot of visual improvements on screen too. One of these is essentially we've moved to actually a calendar month kind of process. So when you come onto this, you know that you're going to see, so I'll scroll up so we can see the dates. You know that you're going to see the first of the month to the last of the month for everything in between. And as you hover on these particular data points, you'll be able to see how that kind of comes in. So for example, as I come to July, we can see that it's the 1st to the 31st of July, and the median pay is 25,500. If we jump to the one before that, we can see the 1st to the 30th of June, and so on and so forth. So as you go through this, you'll be able to see where each point sits. So obviously that kind of presents a big advantage to quickly understand how that data is kind of presented and how it works. But one piece is that when you hit the end of a month, we haven't quite hit the 31st, so we're now basically short. And what we've done is we labeled that this is an incomplete month, which you can see here. And the same with the start. So we've jumped back. We can see the 29th of February is the date that's here. This is also highlighted here. This is an incomplete month. This can then give you the action to either come up here and manually edit yourself so that you can add in the entirety of February, or you can move to the 1st of March. It's entirely up to yourself. In this situation, I'm going to go for the 1st of February just to get it all in. It's going to move the 30 weeks. It's going to reload the page, and I'm going to get some fresh data. And we can see how things have started to change from that. So we now have a slightly different median and a slightly different upper quartile. But we know that it includes February data. The same can be said for the job post. So I'll scroll up here a little bit as well. We can see that at the beginning, we have our full month now, versus at the end, we have our incomplete month. So these are the two major changes that come into this. Everything is now calculated on a calendar basis rather than rolling, and we've emphasized quite a lot a much cleaner, more crisper, and more accurate data set when you're actually looking up roles. The next piece I'm going to take you to is the additional filters on the left-hand side. This is a complete overhaul of what we had before. We've brought this into the modern age. We've made sure that we essentially work with our users in this and work with our customers to make sure that it's something that's instantly recognizable, something that everyone can pick up and go. Inspiration being, if you look up pretty much anything that you've ever used, like a travel site, even or hotels or things like that, there's always a left-hand side nav, and you know exactly what's kind of coming in. So what we've done with this is that we've introduced pay type over here. This formerly was the pie chart that existed before, but not anymore. It's in here. It's also been added as a filter. It previously wasn't. And it also gives you a good indication of what's happening in the market. So for example, with our warehouse operative role in Manchester, we can see that there's actually primarily a lot of people in the hourly rate. And it's as simple as that we can apply this. We click it and we can apply it. And we put in the same attention to detail, the same care to make sure that this is also represented in a defined way, so that we're not prioritizing salary over anything else. As we know, there's a huge user base that actually use our hourly and daily rates. And with that, we can see that the hourly rate has been trending upwards at the median. We can see it's pretty consistent along here. Once again, we know our full months are in this, and we can really sort of get into those details, also recognizing the upper and the lower. And the job post trending actually at that point has come down dramatically as well. So that's one example of how this whole area can fit into that. The next piece is our keywords. So in here, we have had problems in the past where this was confusing, where it was even missed as functionality, and there was a lot of sort of complaints as to how it kind of worked. We've made big strides to improve this. We've made it a lot simpler by putting it into one search term or one calculatable area, and essentially what you can do from here is you type in the word and then it will add into this summary section depending on the title that you've selected. Now, to break these down a bit further, we've added a bit of an info box, so I'll quickly run through what each means. So include any would be to show job posts that match at least one of the keywords you've selected. includes all is to show job posts that match all of the keywords you've selected, and excludes is to eliminate any job posts that contain those keywords that you may not want. So with that, I'm going to go through a little demo to just show how this could work. With Warehouse Operative, we know that there is a night shift. So we can type in here any post and we hit enter and we'll then add. We can see that it then adds to our summary below underneath includes any. And it's got the one, and what we would do is apply this filter. So what happens is I'll hit this, it will do a fresh search and it will find those details. I scroll down to the jobs and we can see that the first one is nights, which has a night shift schedule. Second one, we have our night shift and how these all work. And essentially we can confirm that each one of these is a night shift. So that's that, and we can see how the pay rates have changed and how the job posts have actually changed as well. Something else that we could do in here is to actually remove terms. So we know in ours that we don't want to have anything that has, say, a forklift included. So what we do is we click this and we then hit enter. And what we can see now is that the forklift is a part of the exclude. And what we would do is then apply those changes to the results. We can see how that goes. So we can see that we're greatly reducing it. The pay is actually moved up and the job posts are coming down, but we can see that we are confident that each of these won't have forklift included, but it will still include night shift. No forklift to be seen. So that is a quick introduction to how our keyword functionality could work. Some use cases that you could apply to this functionality would be if you're looking up years of experience, skill sets, if there's qualifications, or any specific term or software that you might use. In my own world, we use a software called Figma. And with Figma, I would essentially add that as a keyword as part of a product designer, for example, to make sure that those jobs are actually coming in. So that's keywords. Let me move on to our final section, which is organizations. Within here, this works essentially the same. We have restricted it to just includes and excludes. And what you would simply do is type in an organization that is in this location here. For if you were thinking of if there's a competitor that you want to look at, if there is an industry leader that you wanted to look at, you could type their name in. The same applies for excludes. And in this situation, this could be used if you have an agency or a recruitment agency, that by that matter, that you could simply add in here, and then they will be removed from the results. Same applies that you would come up and you would apply it, and then the results would load those things. So for example, I'll say Proman. We'll put that in here, hit this, and then we apply that, and we should see all the job results. Oh, excludes. So we've now removed Proman, sorry. So they won't be in the results, and we can start to see how things are changed. And that kind of concludes how our additional filters would work. The final thing I'd like to say is that we've now actually added this apply button. And this is all about cleaning up the experience, but also making sure that you can get to the right results faster. Before, you would have had to jump up to hit search, and there was a lot of moving the mouse around. We've made sure that this is here to quickly apply things. And if you can think of those times or moments when you're in a crunch where you may have added a filter that's actually changed things, you can quickly clear it. So if I hit clear keywords and then apply it, I can quickly do it rather than jumping back up the search. And the same goes for up here. We can wipe the whole lot and it will return to our base search at the beginning, which is back to the beginning, removed it to annual, and that's exactly how we expect it to work. So I'm going to jump back to show this in the hourly rate as before, to go through the second last, but not quite the last piece. So within here, we can see we've got our job table. When we were doing our discussions and having our chats with our testing and then the feedback we were getting, we really had a greater appreciation for this table at the bottom. So we gave it some love and we gave it some rejigging, let's call it. So the first thing we did was actually we cleaned it up. We matched the UI now with the design with the rest of the piece, so it all kind of fits in. We also had a look at the priority of the columns. And what this means is that we have rejigged these or reshuffled them around so that when you actually look at the job title, you can see right next to it the salary or the pay that comes with it. And the same applies to the organization, to the location, and then the date. The date is the default sort of piece, so you'll always see the newest, but at any point you can change this to switch, and it will flip it around and take you to the lowest to the highest, whatever it might be. And that is essentially the last piece that you could do. But we also recognize that not everything is in our platform, and not everything, people are working with different data, people are working with different scenarios. So we have introduced this single collection for download up here. And within here, you can either download a chart, which will take a snapshot of all of this. We're very aware of everyone using a snipping tool. So we've tried to make this a lot easier, that you'd simply capture this, you'd click it and download it. It will do a quick download, and then it will present as a, I'm sharing my tab, so unfortunately I can't share it here. It will then give you this detail, as well as the job titles included and the date range and the location. The second piece is then the table. This works just as before. You can come down and it will download the entire table for you. So that is that's the final piece that I'm ready to show you. In conclusion, we have transformed the platform into a much more friendly, cleaner, and clearer experience that pulls out and highlights the most important information, whilst also setting us up for the future. We're all very excited here at HR DataHub to get this into your hands, for you to try it out and to let us know what you think. But before we do that, I'm going to jump straight back and let Jack take over to wrap this up. Thank you very much for listening to me, and yeah, can't wait to hear it.
Thanks, Darren. So I hope it's clear, as was mentioned, that these improvements represent an investment in the foundations of HR DataHub. In order to continue to build a fast-moving, friendly, and intuitive user experience, we prioritize these changes to our layout, visualizations, and filtering. Moving forward, we're going to continue to prioritize features that will positively impact your experience of monitoring and benchmarking reward with insights. First among these is making it quite simply easier to clean out irrelevant job posts. We know that salary monitoring is a precise exercise, and at times our platform is not as surgical as it needs to be. Recognize that. We were building 3 features to hopefully address this. First off, we're going to be reintroducing our range filter, which hopefully you've seen before, to more accurately display the varying pay ranges across a role, while also showing job post volumes. This is going to highlight outliers at the higher and lower ends of the pay scale, and allow you to swiftly exclude them from your results. This has been improved from a previous version, and we're excited to bring it back very soon. Secondly, we're going to be improving the ability to delete rogue jobs from a set of results. These could be complete outliers from a different sector, a competitor in the market who pays way above and beyond what is realistic, or, as we know, a pesky duplicate. We do know that they happen. They get through our deduplication process. We're going to be allowing you to delete many job posts at once to simply improve the set of results that you've got. And then next, something that's been highly requested for some time, and I noticed in the chat the question around financial sector. We're going to be enabling the ability to filter your search results by industry. We've been working on the ability to filter results to include or exclude certain industries to give you a much more useful picture of the market you're benchmarking against. And we know, for example, this can be helpful when comparing something like a London market, and the tech or finance industries are skewing those salary ranges significantly. We hope this is something you'll find very helpful, and we're really keen to get this to you. Along with these, we're working on some major improvements to the platform to help you capitalize on the hard work you've done to get to an accurate set of results. Saving a search will be a big focus in our next quarter, ensuring you can return to any search you created so that you can improve and refine your results without having to do all that legwork over and over again. Enabling saved searches is a key step to ensuring that monitoring and benchmarking a large number of roles is painless. With that in mind, we will also be building functionality to allow you to bundle a selection of saved searches into a collection. We've heard that it will be useful for users to be able to group a number of searches together in a number of different type of scenarios. These could be different collections based on the function or department or business unit that certain roles are a part of, or group by priority or high-risk turnover roles. This will hopefully save you a lot of time when doing repeat searches and comparing roles in a similar context. And we really hope you'll enjoy it. Beyond these features, as mentioned, there's a long list of ideas that we're debating and refining to improve the platform. I'm going to share now just where you can check those out. You'll be able to find those all on our public roadmap, which you can see on screen. So we really encourage you to check this out. I'm going to drop the link to this in the chat in a moment, but you'll be able to see what's happening this quarter and what our focus is going to be on the next quarter, as well as seeing all the ideas that we have just available there to check out. Now, these are not necessarily everything extensible that we've ever thought of, but these are the things that have a little bit more shape to them, and we'd love to get your feedback. We read and review every single piece of feedback that comes through, and it really shapes how not only what we build but how we build it. So we really encourage you to come on and provide your feedback. So I'm just going to drop that in the chat now, and you'll be able to take a look at it when you want. So yeah, at this point then, I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to hand it over to, if you have any questions, feel free to post them in the chat. But up until this point, you've been excellent. Thanks so much for your attention, and yeah, feel free to ask whatever you like. If there isn't any, that's absolutely fine as well. Hopefully this was the most informative webinar you've ever had, and we answered everything ahead of time. So yeah, Kath, when would you have the benefits information available? For sure, you'll see on that later roadmap that showing benefits is definitely something we really want to do. Naturally, it's a big step for our platform, not only looking at the salaries and pay side of reward, but the benefit side. And it's also another additional challenge. Most job posts don't include the benefits in an easy to read field. They're often muddled between different elements of the copy, and every job poster posts it in a different way. So we're doing a lot of work in the background to build a model that's able to analyze job posts, categorize them, making sure they're accurate, as well as not so broad that it encompasses every possible variant of holiday, which most people wouldn't consider as a traditional benefit. But yeah, so we're hoping to deliver that next year. I don't have an exact timeline for you at this point. The stuff that we've kind of announced around saving searches, collections, industry filtering, and cleaning up those kind of rogue salaries is our immediate focus. But benefits is definitely in the picture for sure. Hopefully that's helpful. Are we looking to level the jobs in the platform in the future? Yeah, 100%. Along with benefits, that's definitely something we've spent a lot of time thinking about as well. That's a really big challenge for sure. Taking really unstructured data, trying to fit it into a structured leveling system that both makes sense for us and also works alongside probably what you have as a leveling system to use, for example, Willis Towers Watson, Aon. We know there's many of them. So we want to make sure that we create a system that works for across the whole board. But leveling definitely is something we want to do again in next year. And we know that there'll be a massive level up, pardon the pun, it's on the mind, for the platform combined with benefits. So definitely something we're going to do. Again, if you have a particular opinion on benefits or on leveling and how that might work or how your use case might require it to work, definitely encourage you to provide some feedback on the portal, and you'll be able to directly influence how we build it. Naturally, Dara mentioned as well, we do a lot of testing, and some of you on this call might have seen some of those features that we've unveiled already during testing. And we definitely encourage you. We try and reach out whenever we're developing an idea, from initial requirements through design. We try and get some user feedback to make sure we're on the right path, and we can prioritize the most important things. So if you're kind of one of those people that really has an opinion and really wants to make sure that this platform works for you, provide that feedback, and we'll probably more than likely reach out to you when we're developing it in real detail. Okay. If there's any other questions, feel free to drop them in. We have another minute or two. I'm happy to give you our time. Also, Dara, as you can see, is here in the flesh, and he's obviously able to answer any questions you have, maybe around the design process or around how he's gone into thinking about what we've already done. Sure. There was an outage recently. How do we get hold of you when this happens? Yeah, sure. So we've had one or two things. There was one around Azure, our underlying infrastructure that's run by Microsoft. That went down a couple of weeks ago. That was something that really affected us and many other businesses, and really prevented us from actually using the platform, doing all our sales calls, doing everything. In that case, obviously hopefully you can still contact us through our website. You can always email us through support@hrddatahub.com. As well as if on our when you actually get onto the portal, if there is an issue with some functionality, or it's you're still able to log in, or even you're at the login page but you're prevented from logging in, you can reach out to our customer experience team through the little chat bot there. We monitor that pretty much all throughout business hours and sometimes a little bit beyond. And we hope to get back to you as soon as we can. But yeah, support@hrddatahub.com, as Becky's thrown into the chat, is definitely one of the most reliable ways to reach out. Cool. All right. Yeah, if there's any other questions, you can always get in touch with myself, Jack, or Dara, or any of the rest of our team by just reaching out to our customer experience team, or whoever you've spoken to through the sales process, or contact product@hrddatahub.com. We'd love to hear your feedback. We'd love to have some conversations to make sure we're building the right thing for you at the right time, in the right way. But yeah, thanks so much for your attention, and we look forward to the next one. Cheers. Thank you all.